And I see them winning this because it's going to be a tough challenge for Chelsea. Chelsea has some of their first team options out on injury, their wing backs, and when you rely on the wing backs for the goals and for the creativity and they're not there and you're working with two slow players, I just see Madrid running through this Chelsea defense. And this is also me playing the underdog card because Chelsea cannot compete with this super team. Madrid is a super team. But yeah, great matchups in the Champions League. I am never wrong. Like, check out my predictions video for the quarterfinals and you'll see, like, I'm just never wrong. So not one match went another way than I had predicted. Like, I'm a genius. There have been some recent talks about, the Champions League being boring and the hype around it is not the same, which can be truthful and can also be false. Like, before in the past, we used to see so many electrifying and explosive matches and so many meetings of some of the biggest teams. But now we have to talk about the climate of football that we're in. Football is changing. Teams have gotten worse. Our favorite players are at their wits' end. It is the last lap for them in their career. And people are just not that hooked on the sport anymore. We are currently depressed. The teams don't bring that much excitement, that much fun. But the game is still fun to watch. Anybody that says they don't like watching football is kind of crazy, I guess. Because despite the decline of this era in football, it's still fun and there's still some good moments. So of course, I'm gonna be reviewing the quarterfinals first leg of the Champions League. Let's get into it. So we have Atletico Madrid versus Manchester City, and that ended 1-0 in City's favor. Did I not say that this would be the outcome? Did I not say that? And I also said it wouldn't be easy for City and they would have to be very patient. When I do this, they'd have to be patient. They'd have to stay the course and see it through because Atletico would not make it easy for them. And the thing that gets me upset is that just when I'd hoped for Simeone, he had to retreat to his old ways. This question, is it that Manchester United was that bad that they made Atletico look like a new energized team? Because the style of playing this game, it was awful. They spent the majority of the game defending. I don't think they left their half. They did quite some time, but it ended up to nothing. Most of the game was in City's possession, which isn't shocking. Like, as I said, this was expected. Atletico would defend, try to hit on the counter. City would pass the ball, try to break down. City had options, and we can all joke about Pep and the quote that he stated that he is open to overthink the tactics and try different things in the Champions League. And we saw that because some of the best players of Manchester City were not on the field. Some came later on in the game and made their impact. And that goes to show that they are a never-ending improvement of themselves, because if you can have Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, all these amazing players on the bench, Ruben Diaz out, if you can have all these players out and still put up a good performance, that is a winning team right there. Now, the game was boring as expected. I was not expecting an electrifying 3-3 match. It went as how it was supposed to go, but I do think City will unlock them in the second leg. My brain is freezing here. City will make it to the semi-finals. Of course, Atletico can always go back to the drawing board, and if Diego is still stubborn, he will never reach the pinnacle of football that he desires. And there's conversations to have about him reaching 2 finals and being a flop at 2 of them. That's another video. Once again, you see me looking down. I have to keep because I chat away and never get to the point. Anyways, Liverpool versus Benfica. It ended 3-1 in Liverpool's favor. Again, I'm never wrong. I did say this. It was going to be easy for Liverpool. They are a super team. And there's no way they were going to walk away from this game with anything less than a win. Like, if they had lost this, I'd be like, what? But as far as I'm concerned, they did what I expected. Now, Benfica, they tried. They tried, and they can look at this as a good thing. As I said before, they've reached thus far when some of the biggest teams ever are not here. So they can look at this and see it as an improvement, and probably try again and just hope and pray that they get easier draws and easier group next year so they can reach that penultimate goal. Just quickly, what is happening to Mo Salah? Like, that is a current concern. He went to AFCON lost, and that can hamper on someone's mental in terms of not being as confident. And we saw it again at the World Cup qualifiers. He lost again, came back, and he has not been himself. He has looked a little bit out of place. But lucky enough, Liverpool has gone and get their gold in Luiz Diaz. He's on fire at the moment. There's no question that he brings so much to this Liverpool team, and he is going to be such an important factor for them. In my last video, you guys can remember, I practically went on a 5-minute rant about how much I love him. The only negatives in his game, he'd have to improve on his decision making and his final play, like when he's in front of goal or when he's about to. Just that, but otherwise from that, great player. I can't say anything. But yeah, Liverpool to the semi-finals of the Champions League, of course. Now here is the match that most of my Twitter mutuals were tagging me. How are you? Are you doing okay? Do not ask me that. Chelsea versus Real Madrid ended 3-1 in Madrid's favor. Now I am 3 out of 3 so far because I've not got any of these predictions wrong. Did you not watch the intro? The proof is in the pudding. I said it, I predicted it, I saw it coming. Dread it, run it, faith will, whatever that quote is. I was right. Horrible defending was what lost Chelsea this game. It was a disaster. I wasn't watching live because I just knew what was going to happen, right? And after I saw the notifications for the second goal, I just literally couldn't feel anything. I was out of words, I was out of movements. I just couldn't get myself. And then when I watched the goals that they conceded, it just, what was Mendy doing? One, what? I still haven't got over it. But the collapse was always coming. Chelsea has been going through, such a horrible moment in their history, and there's so much chaos and so much noise around that would falter the team and the manager. But Thomas Tuchel has been able to keep it solid and keep it together, and that's commendable. But at some point we would see the downfall, and the downfall began in that 4-1 defeat to Brentford. Again, horrible defending, horrible tactics, horrible all around. I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to ever watch that game again, and I'm just gonna erase it from my mind. No, Benzema, of course, best player in the world. He is at his peak. He is the man at the moment. I'm sorry, but he's that guy. If you came here for me to see something different, he's that guy. Now, he's not my favorite, and I've not always been a Benzema fan, and this is because of a stupid agenda that I have to live by. But even Stevie Wonder can see how talented Benzema is, and this is not just today or yesterday or last season. Benzema's since his debut, he has been that golden boy. He has been that player that is a footballer's footballer. He is amazing. Like, come on, let's not play here. Yes, he has had bad moments at Madrid, but he's always been good. At the time when Cristiano Ronaldo is the man at the moment at Madrid, you'd not expect it to outshine him, right? And even with him leaving, he's still doing what he's always been doing. So I don't get where people try to use 1 or 2 seasons against a player. Some of the best players have a bad season in their career. I'm going off track. Anyways, now here's a joke. The same midfield that I mocked for being old ran Chelsea off the park. The same midfield, but with a bit of change and tweaks. You know, Carlo got it right this time with bringing in Valverde. He understood what it meant to keep track and to keep athleticism at the core of the game. That's good. But I still, in questioning Carlo's tactics, I still want to see Camavinga on the big stages. I think he could add some electrifying moments to Madrid. I think he could be, you know, that golden play that they've always wanted since some of the best left. And I think not that, don't get me wrong, he's not the best young midfielder ever, but I'd like to see him being incorporated in bigger matches. But yeah, as I said, Chelsea couldn't compete. This is a super team. Madrid was just amazing. It's the game. The game's the game. I'm sorry. The game is the game. I'm not sad. I'm not mad. It happens, and I don't see how Chelsea could come back from this. So Madrid is going to the semi-finals. Last but definitely not least, Villarreal versus Bayern ended 1-0. And I won't stop saying it. I am never wrong. Did I not? Did I not? As I said, the link will be in the description box for the video that I did, and I predicted all of this. No. What a performance by Villarreal. Unai Emery, the coach that you are, the masterclass that you did is showing that you are that guy. But the only negative I had to see is Villarreal kept on missing too many chances, and this is something that may eventually come to haunt them in the second leg. That is the only problem I had. Like, they could have easily won this 3-0 and sit back in the next match. But it is what it is. But they exceeded expectations. Not mine, because I always see this coming. A player who I'd like to single out, Danjuma. He is a diamond in the rough. That's poetry right there. It's only a matter of time until he gets the big break at a bigger and more successful club that will, you know, help in his development. It was so excited seeing him with the Netherlands national team, and I'm so excited to see him at the World Cup, and he's one to look out for. Now, let's be real here. Let's go back to reality, back to life, back to reality. Bayern can easily come back in the second leg and win this 5-0. Like we saw it in the round of 16. They drew the first leg and then they came back and they just obliterated the game. They can do that. So let's not count them out yet. Few comments. Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski. Yes. Not his best day, not his best game. I think in order for him to be in the conversations of best players, the stats do one thing, but your contribution to your team does another. And in big moments like this, you want to find every possible outlet to contribute, and he did no such thing in this match. Thought I just pointed out. I also have questions for Nagelsmann. So if Julian Nagelsmann is watching this, which I know he's not, and I don't know. But there are some questions to be asked about the tactics and the formation and the way in which he wants to play this Bayern team. I think a lot of expectation is on him, and I've said it before, he has big shoes to fill, and I think it's getting to him. And I think the fact that he has not had that much success in football is a little bit of down, and we'll talk about another time, of course. The goalkeepers really lost it. They really lost their composure, because what was Manuel Neuer doing? As I said, Mendy had already broken my heart before in what he did in the Chelsea match. And I was like, not in a quarterfinals. Then Manuel Neuer does the same thing, and it could have almost been, that goal could have almost been a moment, but it went off target. And it brought back flashbacks to 2018 World Cup with the South Korea match. He decided to play a midfield that went the opposite way. Boom, Germany is out. That crushed me. But Manuel is still good, still the best ever, so there's no complaints here from me. I would love the poetic ending of Villa knocking out Bayern, you know, beating the champions, beating the big dogs. You know, that underdog story that we all love. But that is very much wishful thinking. That is dreams dreams and nightmares. So let's stick to the easiest answer. Let's stick to the reality of what it will be. Bayern will win, and then it brings us to the semi-finals that could rack up to see a City versus Madrid, Liverpool versus Bayern, and to be edgy and cool here, I'm gonna say it's a Madrid-Bayern final. I would love to see it. It could also be a City-Liverpool final, like, yeah, English final again, but that's boring. That's a boring thought to have. Let's spice things up. So yes, that was my review on the quarterfinals. Thank you guys so much for watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing the video, keeping up with what I'm doing. I appreciate it so much. So I'm gonna be back with other videos that are not the Champions League, of course. So thank you, goodbye.